This is the Galaxy Report for Sunday, September 4th, 2005. Welcome back to the Galaxy Report. We have a lot to cover this week, so let's jump right into viewer mail. Our first piece of mail came in from Solon. He just wanted to let everyone know that the character builder on bloodfin.org that we talked about last week is not fully updated to work with the post-combat upgrade. It pretty much is, but not totally. But he's going to work on decoding the data file, and he's going to get it updated and send it to us as soon as possible. And he also suggested that we do like a musical transition to and from the interviews. What are your thoughts on that, Gyron?
Yeah, why not? I think that'd be a real treat for the listeners.
Be careful what you ask for. We have the worst collection of MIDIs and sounds and songs to go back and forth, to and from the interviews.
That's right. We're both connoisseurs of the awful music, and I've had my eye on this particular MacGyver theme song MIDI. That will really take away your will to live.
Is it from the Dutch MacGyver website?
No, but that website is certainly a treat.
Yeah, so
for the eyes.
If we do get into doing that, expect a lot of Karate Kid, wahas or chas or whatever, and music, whoosh.
It'd have like the Ninja Show, the Terrence Kasai Show.
That'd be pretty sweet. Our next email is from Eisinger Sunlighter, and he's been doing the quest on the loading screen for a couple weeks. And he wanted to let us know that it's bugged, and he's tried to inform the developers, and of course that doesn't work. And he wanted to know if there was any good quests out there that aren't bugged. I think the main problem with his email is the fact that he's asking for good quests and that aren't bugged.
Yeah, there are a lot of working quests that will nab about 1,000 or 2,000 credits and maybe some Java faction. And then, of course, there are bugged quests that land you some really nice stuff.
That you can never get.
Yeah, so one or the other. Actually, I think that's a good idea to come up with some type of thing that you said last time we started recording the show.
Oh, the wiki.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
Well, I did get it installed today, and basically what we're trying to do is we want to set up a wiki on our new website where, listeners can come in, anybody's going to be able to edit it, and we want to list the bugs, have like professions broken down, and then quests, so people can go in there and they can list their bugs, and we can keep track of what's going on with the game. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter just woke up, and Gyron's being a dick right now. But basically what I was talking about is we want to set up a wiki for everybody to help us keep track of all the bugs in the game, and maybe we can even, at some point send them to the developers and be like, hey, these are the bugs that we've noticed. This is how long. We could have, test center bug where we can keep track of this stuff, because from what I'm hearing, a lot of the bugs in these current publishers have been brought up in test center and still somehow they make live.
And they get passed on to live with no, oh, hey, this is wrong? Well, no one will notice.
Right, and what I want to do, I want to have it all in one place, for us. That way we can look at it and, a lot of times you get there's a post on the message board that said that they talked about that. But, SOE likes to go in and delete posts here and there, especially when it doesn't agree
lock
with
them up. We want to make the SWG craft of SWG bugs. We want a searchable database that when you write to people, I know a lot of people that play the game are on the forums, and I know a lot of people play on Test Center, and I know that communication is horribly lacking between SOE or the game developers and the player base, and it's time for us to take the game back.
And you would think that with the Test Center people that they would really be working with them.
Yeah, and what do? They all of a sudden, like the normal Test Center that's been there, the people have like actual characters that they actually test on is down, and it's replaced with like a copy center like Test Center Breer or Test Center Bloodfin, and all it is like duel me at the frog. I want to test out my Uber Elite template. And there's nothing wrong with PvP, but I don't think Test Center is the place to do it. I mean, yes, you want to test it, but you want to test the game-breaking stuff too.
And I'd like to just have it where, there's the bugs, there's the dates, and I threw this idea past you last night that what SOE should have is like a big map of an Excel spreadsheet, kind of like Ike's planning of Overlord. They could have this like big thing with all the bugs and the date of the bug, and they should be sitting there just with a marker, checking them off as they fix them. And of course, as they fix those, there's going to be new bugs popping up on the other side. But at least we know that, that stuff was being taken care of. And this is just a way for us to keep track of what's going on. And, it's our game, so we might as well know.
That's right. And it'll be nice to have a point to reference. Because I'm serious. We need to take this game back to where it was. Galaxies has the most potential out of all those MMOs out there. It's got a great license. It's got, SOE, who has tons of money that they can just throw at it. They're just terribly misguided in what they're doing, and it kills me.
It makes no sense to me what they're doing.
I love logging on to play. I love playing in the Star Wars universe. But on the back of the box, I'll even go pick up and get it. It says, live your life as you would as just an ordinary guy in the Star Wars universe.
But you don't. Either you want to be a Boba Fett clone or a Jedi. That's all they give you right now.
That's right, and those professions have the most working stuff. I mean, still a lot of it is broken, but it's the most working professions, and they've got the most content. So why would anybody want to do that? I mean, look at this frickin' expansion. Look at the Trials of Obi-Wan. What is a combat level 1 master image designer, Taylor Artesian going to do? Why should they even buy the expansion?
And you know what I don't understand, this is like a good thing where they're not giving people what they want. People want Hoth. People want Bespin. Nobody asked for Mustafar. Nobody.
Lucas did when he made that terrible movie.
I would put money on the fact that not one person emailed the developers saying, "Oh, please, will you put Mustafar in the game?"
Nothing I'd like more than some mining rock planet. And why not put Ord Mendel in there? That would be a lot more interesting.
There's like plenty of stuff that they could pull from the expanded universe to put in there. That would add a lot more for like all the professions.
That's right. But what do we know? We just give $15 a month to.
We give them $15 a month, and
we go to work grinding out our templates.
Yeah.
I'm angry now. That's the sugar.
I had a feeling that we were going to get angry again this episode.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways.
That's just speechless. That's how you know.
Back to the wiki. We're going to get that up. We want everybody to be part of it. We want you to put stuff in there. And, hopefully by the time this is out, we'll have it up and running and you'll get a feel for it. It should be, I would say after the first couple of weeks, everything will fall into place the way we want it. Okay. CP Gannon 1212 sent me an email, wanted to know what our thoughts were on the Bria outage.
I think the hamster died.
I think it's a bunch of BS that they're not giving them anything.
Yeah, why don't you go over that?
The wonderful post. I guess with all the downage, people spend a lot of times on the forums, and Tiggs came on and asked everybody. She wanted everyone to be realistic, and what would they like to see as compensation for the downtime they've been experiencing. And of course, she said, "Don't say multiplied experience." It's not
because that ain't going to happen after.
And it shouldn't.
It
should never happen in the first place.
I'm just saying it's not going to happen.
I'll say it. It should never happen.
It ain't going to happen.
So
now that we've said it 3 times,
she puts it
multiple experience Friday.
She puts it out there. Of course, people are going to come on and start giving their ideas, and then
the same way they did with the 2-year vet reward ideas.
Ignored them.
But I digress.
So Bixie Bopper comes on, and I'm not exactly sure what Bixie Bopper's is. She's like community relations person.
It almost sounds like Tig's boss or something.
Could be. So Bixie Bopper comes on and basically tells everybody.
Why don't you read it verbatim?
Okay.
Word for word even.
Again, let's avoid any discussion of compensation. This is something we cannot discuss. While you are free to suppose and suggest all you like, there is no answer we can give you. When any compensation is decided upon, we pass along the news. One of their own people said, "Hey, what do you want?" And what did they come back with? "Oh, don't talk about that stuff. Let's avoid talking about that stuff. We don't want to hear about that stuff.
When it happens, it's just like they got the same freaking communication problem they have with the community. They have within their own twisted cubicles at SOE headquarters, which I picture as like on a bridge of a Star Destroyer with the evil music playing.
I think communication's better in New Orleans right now than it is in SOE headquarters.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my God. But for Bria, those people should be getting at least like a free week out of it. I mean, they were down completely for 2 days and then off and on for the next few days at least.
Yeah, when you do have time off to play or on a weekend, bam, it's down. I think the hamster had a cardiac arrest.
And let's look at it this way. How many people are on Bria, would you say? 15, 20,000?
More than 10.
Okay, let's say
More
20,000.
people.
So 20,000, you give those 20,000 people a free week. That is not going to kill you. You're friggin' SOE.
It's going to cost less giving them a free week than it will when they cancel their accounts. I can tell you that.
And then remember back when we started WoW? And they had like some issues logging in, which I never had an issue logging in. Yeah, sometimes I had to wait in the little line to get in because they wanted
I think that's what the kids are calling it.
Yeah.
Like that guy from Star Trek Next Generation.
And, a few times you had to wait there, and you know what? They just want to do that to help with server stability, I guess. But people had problems, so what'd they do? They gave everybody a free week. Now we're talking, wow, like when that launched, they had 500 to 700,000 people playing the game. Now they're up to.
I think most people call that a crap load.
Now they're up to 2.5 million, and even like when I left, same thing. If they had a problem, half the time I didn't even notice a problem. It's like, oh yeah, we gave you a couple free days.
Yeah, it's like, and who's going to argue with 3 days? And
it's something you should get if you can't play the game. Everyone. I'd like to get one of the developers on the show, and I'd like to ask them, if you rented a car for a month and the car broke down for a week, would you expect to pay for that entire month?
That's right. You tell them what's up.
Oh, I'm angry. And then the last bit of our viewer mail, this is from one of our secret underground sources, but allegedly the developers are spending a lot of time right now working on a squad leader revamp, and that there are some top secret Uber things in the works. Now, I hope they don't get their hopes up too much, but you had said something that you checked the test center notes.
Yeah, test center patch notes as of, I believe it was either late Friday night or early Saturday morning, has a bunch of squad leader changes as far as they're almost working the way group buffs do, or the way buffs do for entertainers now. What I'd like to do is anybody that's been on Test Center and had a chance to test that, let me know, let us know, drop us a line here, and see what exactly is going on, see if they work. And
you can go ahead and email that to us at thegalaxyreport@yahoo.com, or we might even have the message boards up at that time, so we might have something up where people can go into a certain area and list stuff like that.
What we need to do is get our squad leader correspondent on the case.
Oh yeah, Penny, our official squad leader. Yeah, I'll have to talk to him, see if we can get him. I mean, he's in the UK, so it might be a problem setting up the time.
It's only a 4 hour, 7 hour?
Yeah, but when we normally do it at midnight, and they're doing it at, it's 4 in the morning there. Okay, let's move right into the publish this week. Publish 23.
The Phantom Publish.
The publish that didn't work and then came back and worked a little bit.
That's right.
We're gonna say.
All I can say, let me just cut you off right now and say the best part about this publish is that I don't have to worry about making factory runs of armor because I still have to make them by hand. This is the third freaking time that the patch note said that my colored armor was going to come out the right color from a crate.
It's still not happening?
Not a crate, a crate. And let me tell you, that still works. So I don't understand. Tailors and armor smiths are getting screwed extra. It's only been going on for published 19, I want to say?
Oh, that hasn't been that long. Then what are you complaining about?
I know. It's got to go.
Okay, well, while we're on the subject of crafting, why don't we go over the crafting changes with Publish 23? Crafters will no longer erroneously receive use XP, which...
I still have industrialist experience.
Well, you know
That's
what?
Not even in this.
If all your stuff
transfer that at the village.
If your stuff is broke, who cares if you get like a few extra XP points? I mean, what are you going to use it for?
Well, it's just random, because remember back in the day, crafters would get a small a small experience bonus when someone actually used something that they created, which was kind of cool.
That was a great
idea. It really
idea.
only helped at the low end. But, and you would get industrialist experience for making stuff in factories, I believe. But that doesn't happen anymore.
Okay, they fixed some issues with with pay maintenance and structure status not working on harvesters and factories.
And they screwed up some other stuff when they were at it too.
Fix some instances where clothing armor pulled from a crate was not retaining the color customization.
Liar, they did not fix that. They're lying. They're not lying. How could you leave that in the patch? It's been on Test Center.
They knew. It's another thing. They knew it didn't
Why
work.
didn't write it down? Isn't it remarkable how a lot of these patch notes read like they were just copy and pasted from last patch notes?
You know what I find funny? They'll put this in knowing that it doesn't work, but they won't put in when they nerf something.
I know. Secretly, we've increased the mine cost by 2% for all specials.
We're not going to tell you when we change something that you might not like.
I know. Honestly, I run out of my mine pool faster than my force pool. It's not funny. It's going to happen to you.
I remember back in the days of being a rifleman and having that happen to me.
Yeah, well, that was pre-CU. It happened to everybody. That was the thing. That's why everyone was rifleman. I remember capping myself when I was a carbineer.
I think we've all been there.
Good times.
Additional notes to crafting. Items in pre-CU crates are not impacted. Post-CU crates with items will have items with invalid colors. And new crates of items created after this publish should have the correct colors.
At least they put in should instead of will.
So you've tested with stuff that you've created after this publish, and it's still.
I made a run of gloves, three of them, and they came out brown. And then I tested it with a bracer, because I thought maybe, because gloves don't have stats. Gloves and boots don't have stats like regular armor.
Right.
So I tested it with a bracer. I did a factory run of 2, and they came out at default, which I expected, but hoped that I was wrong, but I was right.
You know what we should do? We should copy the patch notes every time there's a publish.
And then just put line next to it.
No.
In big red letters.
Well, I was just thinking about putting like a red line through each one that doesn't work when they released it.
That actually, we should do that. We should do it like when you get your papers graded in school. We should put a red little check mark next to it, and then we should forward it to Thunderheart.
We could grade each publish.
Let's do that. I'm not messing around. We should.
Oh man, I got a million things going on right now.
Take the game back.
That's true. That's your job.
That's my job.
You're going to work on that. Okay, let's go on to the AI. When a creature or NPC is attacked by multiple players and then exits combat after death blowing one of the players, the new behavior allows the AI to continue combat with all attacking players, even after death blowing one of the players. Can I say players any more times?
Yeah. Or maybe they had like some kind of drinking game attached to the patch notes.
The Galaxy Report drinking game.
Yeah. Every time you say players, SOE punches you in the nuts.
Avatar. Player light now extends further into building interiors. You test that? You been to the Avatar lately?
I've been grinding. I tested crafting because I'm broke, so I need to make some factory runs. I need to make some nice designer black and red composite.
For no
Actually,
reason.
I really enjoy doing it by hand anyway, because I don't like making it for the masses. I like those special orders where like, oh, can you put health enhancements now that they work in? I sure can. Oh, Rabex? No, I can't do it, I'm sorry. I thought you were Imperial. No, sorry, don't make Wookiee armor.
Armor. While we're on that topic, Clone Trooper style armor appearances will not display properly when worn by female characters, because there are so many female stormtroopers, or clone troopers, or either one.
Yeah, clone trooper, chick clone trooper.
That'd be scary to look at. A chick
Commander
clone.
Cody, you're abroad. Holy crap.
I've had my penis inverted into a vagina.
That was reverse clone. Well, that's what happens when frickin' the clone troopers are filled with midichlorians. They can spontaneously,
turn into women.
That's right. They're like tribbles.
Oh, they turn into women so they can, like, spontaneously have babies.
That's right. Like
Virgin births.
Midichlorians is a stupid word.
Update to previous patch note. The species
update, wait. Oh, okay, never mind. This is just, I was gonna say, update. Trandoshans can't put that on their head anymore.
The species restriction has been removed from clone trooper style armor. The male-female appearance fix remains, so females will wear the female art versions of this armor and males will wear the male versions of this armor.
Trandoshans can no longer wear the hands or the boots. When I say hands, I mean gloves.
Trandoshans can't wear hands. Fix an issue where sometimes the system will think a character is wearing armor even though... Didn't they do this already?
Yeah, they did that to me when they unbugged me.
But wasn't it... I thought we talked about that, like, publish 22.
And that's why I said a lot of these patch notes sounds like they've been copy and pasted from last patch's patch notes.
For those of you who never listened, they fixed it where it would tell you had armor on even when you weren't wearing armor, and that did cause some problems, especially with you trying to grind up Jedi.
Yeah, it would cause problems with Jedi because you can't use any Jedi skills if you have armor on. It would make you lose any Teräs Kasai innate armor bonuses that you get because it would say you were wearing armor, but you're not. Why would you wear armor? You're freaking Teräs Kasai. You get free armor. Unlimited condition.
You know what's going to be great? In about 6 months, we won't have to do any shows. We can just take snippets from previous shows where we talk about the publish and put it together and publish 35 is going to be everything we talked about the past 3 months. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll all be working though. We should do that too. We should have on the video, do a dream sequence.
What video?
Oh, the one that I'm pretending that we're gonna.
Okay, Mr. Move-In. Combat.
Video.
Elemental damage will now be applied to a target for weapons that have bonus elemental damage.
See, didn't that happen
Elemental damage has been fixed, unfixed, broke so many times.
I certainly hope it works, because without it, my lightsaber only does about 500 damage.
Here's another one.
But it's a lightsaber. Why wouldn't it do a lot of damage?
Moves requiring cooldown, overcharge shot, should work properly if you've recently been moving. Previously, players could not execute certain commands right after moving, as if the system erroneously thought you were still moving.
Yeah,
well, that was one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't you pull a publish 22 notes right now? So as I'm going through, you can be like, yep, publish 22, publish 22.
I'll do that. We will check and balance each other. We'll be fair and balanced, like Fox News.
Awesome. That's like the 4th time we've compared ourselves to Fox News.
That's just fun to say.
Added in validation code to validate weapons range information and damage type information.
That's wicked validating.
Oh yeah. We went over crafting. Force Village.
This is not working. There was supposed to be a hotfix for that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, we talked about this last week, didn't we? The players who have completed Captain Sergulio's quest to unlock range speed or melee defense, but were not granted the quest rewards, should be granted their rewards when logging in.
Yes.
Phase 2, melee speed. The durable Lath quest reward item is once again usable as a melee weapon power-up. Phase 3, melee accuracy quest. The Sith Shadow Commander will now run and can negotiate steep terrain more effectively.
Instead of stand there and then take off for no reason. Walk as slow as you possibly can away.
I wish they'd do that with everybody that you have to escort back to someplace.
Yeah, right.
I hate escort missions. You should now be able to convert entertainer experience to force-sensitive experience. It's got to be good for entertainers.
Sure. Real treat.
For the 5 that have stayed ever since they got nerfed.
Huh. Well, there's a big, I wonder why they didn't call it a revamp when, with the new entertainer changes.
It's a big entertainer revamp. Everything's a revamp at this point.
I know. I think they have their own drinking game with that, the revamp game.
I think they drink and then come up with this stuff. Corrected typo and force-sensitive experience conversion text. Galactic Civil War. Force Cloak Jedi will take damage from turret attacks. How does the turret see them?
Because it's probably got a motion sensor. Because probably it has shadows enabled and it can see the shadow underneath the Cloak Jedi.
I thought they removed that.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Why don't you turn on shadows and find out? All I know is that if you're force meditating and cloaked, I can see that force meditate particle effect.
Players of the same faction can now view the status of Special Forces factional bases. Previously, only the owner could check the status.
Nick factional bases.
Ooh, here's a big thing from this publish, the House Pack-Up.
Yeah, who's got the balls to try that one?
And I'm not
certainly not me.
I'm not talking about just a small house with one item you put in it. I'm talking about your large house with...
I'm talking about, your Life Day orbs and your hero tattooing pieces.
Your special museum.
All your ADKs.
It's a new feature. The owner of a player house may choose to pack up the structure and all of its contents into a house control device. This control device is stored in the player's datapad. The option to pack up the house is available on the structure's control terminal. You can access the structure's control terminal by using the radio menu.
This actually could be a good thing if it works.
Right.
Because think about it.
It's a great idea.
All those are houses that are sitting there taking up spaces where people haven't logged on and their accounts are canceled. Oh, we can just pack it up and it's in your datapad. Wouldn't that be a treat?
That's a good idea.
I certainly hope that happens.
Once the house is packed up, a player can interact with the house in a limited fashion via the house control device In the data pad, the player has 3 options available. They can check the status. This is identical to the
Delete all
current check
items.
status. It allows the player to see the number of items stored in the house as well as current maintenance. Pay maintenance, same as what's going on now. An unpack house. This feature will cause the house to go into placement mode. This works the same way as placing a house from a deed. All placement rules are followed.
Unless you live in a guild hall, and then none of that applies to your house.
Here's a note here. Houses with vendors cannot be packed. The vendors must first be removed before a house can be packed.
Of course, before the hotfix, you were able to still pack it up with vendors inside.
When a house is packed up, the waypoint to the packed house is removed. If a player's residency was declared with the packed up house, the residency is
They live
reset.
in their data pad.
If a player was a citizen of a city with a packed up house, the citizenship is revoked. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if you could make a city in your data pad? Like you just sat there and packed up houses and
Oh, why don't you? Yeah. Actually,
you could have a shuttle port in your data pad, you could fly there and
fly in your. Yeah, actually, that's stupid. The more I think about it,
it is stupid. I'm surprised it's not a feature they're putting in.
well, you never know. There's going to be some exciting data pad upgrades.
There you go, your data pad.
That's right. The data pad revamp of 2005.
You go into your data pad, it's like friggin' Fraggle Rock. That's their brilliant idea.
And oh crap, the doozers ain't on my. The doozers ain't my AB21.
Inventory. Auto-stacking items will no longer stack to items in a different container than the one they are being moved into.
You could have just stopped when it said auto stacking items will no longer stack.
That's not working.
There's been some. I've even had issues looted with smuggler items. You're supposed to be able to stack and unstack them, and haven't been able to unstack them. So I got a clump of 10. If you put them on the vendor to sell them, it doesn't show how many you have clumped together. So you just have to assume, like, if you're paying like 1,000, like 1,000 credits for one and 2,000 for two. Yeah, unless the person that puts it on the vendor is nice enough to, write in the details window 10 items.
Hey, you want to make some money?
Oh,
1,000 items.
I know. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all my freaking crappy That's another thing with crystals and pearls. Even though Jedi can see the quality, whether it's good or fair, because it's not certainly going to be premium or whatnot, but it doesn't show that in the details window either. So you have to go by what the seller is saying it is until you actually have it in your inventory, which sucks because how long is it going to take before someone gets like 3 or 4, good or fair pearls and puts them on the vendor and says quality or premium? Free CU.
So this is basically one of the things I was talking about on the big Ike board, the war planning board, where they checked off, they fixed one problem, and they created a whole nother problem.
Oh, no,
actually, like 3 or 4 other problems.
Some of those things have been going on for a while. Some of those things, I think whenever they talk about it, they say the vendors displaying information properly now. I think that's what they call it when they say that they fixed it.
Oh, well, I don't care about it anymore. I'm moving on. Loot.
You're out of control.
Resources will more often be found as loot in dungeons.
I got a Tuesday tip about the crap not stacking. If you drop some in your house, and you still have some in your pack, and then you pick it up, sometimes it will stack.
Really?
Times it won't.
Just random?
I hate clutter, and I hate having crazy amounts of items just hanging around. So you might want to try that. Just drop it, leave one, go out and loot some more so they're in your backpack, come back and pick them up. Sometimes that works. Sometimes if you put stuff not in your character inventory, but in your actual physical backpack, and then drag the other stack that's not sticking in there, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh man, it's like they added like a chance to it. Like
no, actually, I think that may be the smuggling mini game they were talking about.
Drop it, pick up, and see if it stacks.
I was thinking something more interesting like Tetris, but
Tetris in your data pad.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Okay, so loot. Resources found as loot in dungeons will no longer always be in a quantity of 1. Resources found as loot or...
Get up to 10. No, I think I got like 100 wild wheat. 5 horn! Holy crap!
See, resources found as loot will no longer be divided into multiple containers if the quantity exceeds 100. And skill enhancement attachments will no longer be found as loot in the Borgol Bat and Akurian Caves.
That's right, so no more rings and shirts.
No.
I guess that's one way to address the AFK camping situation. Rather than do something about it, they'll just remove the loot drops.
Well, why didn't they? Here's an idea.
I don't know. Don't try to think. Here's an idea. Never try to get in their head. It'd be like that one movie with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, God.
The hell was
Why
that?
do you have to mention Jennifer Lopez?
Because it was just on last night. The hell was it?
No, I'm just saying
I don't even care.
There should be a way if like one person loots a container like 2 or 3 times or say like 5 times in a row, obviously that person is camping and like they get warped to like 0-0 Yavin or something or
They get warped right over the side like that. Or that volcano unlocked that you can actually walk on. I hope you can't actually walk on the lava in Mustafar, whatever. Terrible movie.
you'll be able to swim in it. That's the added feature. You're going to be able to swim in the lava.
I remember in Warcraft when I thought I could walk on lava and I got my ass kicked. Yeah, you can't mess around.
Okay.
You know what I did? Exciting minigame? Fishing minigame?
What'd you do?
I actually fisted.
You fisted?
I did. It was crazy.
Oh, God.
But the point is, fishing in Star Wars Galaxies, not all that fun. But, I thought I'd give it a try after not fishing for, over 2 years.
I got a kick out of fishing in WoW.
Well, yeah, because you got something out of it. But, yeah, fishing.
Can I move along now?
Yeah, I guess my story really isn't all that interesting, except
Okay.
Trandoshan fishing looks funny.
Miscellaneous. Players should be able to execute certain commands right after moving. For example, dancing, singing, placing harvesters, placing houses, etc. I ran into this problem more than once where you're trying to place a house and you're standing still.
Cannot do that while...
Yeah. Cannot do that while running. Cannot do that while running.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting bug that's happened ever since Publish 23. My bike randomly stores. It only happened like once or twice per like 3-hour session, but
that's still a pain in the ass.
I thought I was being like part of the Imperial crackdown. I was gonna slit one of the guys, but no crackdown, just stored bike. I'm sure I didn't hit dismount or store. I'm sure I didn't /store bike. It just
happens.
Stored. Yeah.
Deathwatch Bunker. Fix an issue where multiple super battle droids could be spawned by repeatedly looting a chest.
Yeah, like an AFK looting Force Cloaked Jedi. Every time you would loot that SBG would join. So if you were even if you just wanted to get in there just to do that one certain quest to get the parts to make Mandalorian armor, you would almost instantly die because every time /loot, poof, an SBD.
And make that sound?
Poof. Poof. Yes. No, it would actually spawn one right on your ass. Unless you're a cloaked Jedi or a feigned deather, you're pretty much jacked. Which is why they should not... I don't advocate putting Force Cloak into Master Powers. I do advocate being able to do any kind of offensive thing, like saber throw or anything like that. You can't start combat for Force Cloak, and you can't loot and open stuff in Force Cloak, because it would just balance it out.
That's a good idea.
I mean, Force Cloak is more of a defensive thing, I always thought anyway. Or, I mean, if you gotta get in there and shut off the, the power converter to the, tractor beam on the Death Star, but...
Right.
Since it seems we're going back in time, who knows? Maybe it was different back in the days of the Old Republic. Why would you frickin' put that?
Okay. Let's calm down. This show's gonna be an hour and a half if we keep it this rate.
It's just me pissed off about episode 3.
Player associations. If your guild is currently in a guild war with another guild, and after you clone, you will incur a 1-minute guild war cooldown period during which you cannot engage in guild war combat, attack or be attacked. This rule affects Guild War PvP only. All other PvP rules are still in effect.
Like you have to, after you die, you have to, send them a towel that they're an elite hackser? Like those kind of rules? Or...
Yeah. Okay, profession, bounty hunter. Only Master Bounty Hunters will be able to draw boss level marks.
Wasn't that in last?
Could have sworn I read it 5 or 6 times.
I know.
Increase the amount of bounty. Did you pull up the published 22 notes?
Pull it up. That's why I said something when you read it.
Increase the amount of bounty droids in crates. Could have sworn we've talked about that.
Yep.
Increase the amount of charges on bounty droids. Am I reading the wrong patch notes? The track option on seeker droids will now consume a droid charge.
That's good for droid engineers.
Move player bounty hunting to the Master Bounty Hunter skill box.
Yep.
All right. Creature handler.
I'm even going back through 21 just to see if it's
Just
in
to
that
double
one,
check.
too. Significantly
Probably in
altered.
like hot fixes or something. I know
21
we've
was
had-
when they first said that they were going to put the NPC loot in there. And then added more text to Secret Droid, increased amount of bounty hunter Secret Droids, patch 21, yeah. Goes back to public 21.
Nice. Profession creature handler. Pets now properly use their speed enhancing abilities. Triggered L1 pet abilities should now work properly. Remove the ability to have elite or boss class pets. Pets will automatically return to their standard statistics and their given level. Changed all elite tameable creatures to non-elite. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that. Profession dancer, entertainer, musician. Wow, they got a ton of stuff.
Oh, did they? I wonder what kind of buff Jedi would use to craft his lightsaber. Would it be artesian crafting buff or a weaponsmith crafting buff? Because it doesn't apply to either.
That's all I have to
So
say
who
about
cares?
that.
Who cares? The player base hates Jedi, and freaking.
So can I go on with these? So it looks like they actually attempted to make entertainer, dancer, musicians somewhat worthwhile.
Still left.
Yeah.
I'm actually tipping them like $5,000 per session.
Nice. Per session.
Per session.
It's like an Asian massage or something.
And I like happy endings.
Man, I can't talk tonight. It's like my tongue is numb. Entertainer professions will now be able to apply non-combat profession specific inspiration buffs.
Specific?
I told you my tongue is
The
numb.
Remix in English?
Oh yeah.
Sucking down those Sour Patch Kids?
Inspiration buff should now give the proper bonus to crafting experience. Typing /flow will once again expand to the flourish command. Firejets 2 and Bukaki 2 icons should display correctly now. Twi'lek should no longer have unused innate... Twi'lek?
I don't know, I'm asking.
I don't know. Someone will correct us, don't worry.
I certainly hope so.
They should no longer have unused innate skill modifiers. I wonder if that
Yeah, like
affects
all those
me.
Well, apparently stuff like battle fatigue while dancing, skill attachments were changed, but so far I'm hearing reports that they haven't. So I hope you didn't shell out over $10 million for that stuff.
Okay, some of this stuff is kind of boring. I'm going to skip over it real quick.
Because boring stuff we can get any time.
I'll get to the
Definitely any time.
entertainers are now going to be able to apply non-combat profession specific inspiration buffs. And there's a whole list of them: artesian inspiration, chef inspiration, tailor, bioengineer, architect, droid engineer, weaponsmith, shipwright, armorsmith.
All the professions except for Jedi. Probably the quick way to say that.
Okay.
They also still give the generic 10% increase in
No!
No, they do.
No, I closed all my
All your
Windows.
What
Yeah.
are you doing with Windows?
God, my
Yeah, the point
laptop
is they
sucks.
still give the 10% faction increase and the 10% experience increase if you just watch them. But they can actually have some kind of useful buffs to give you now. Hopefully they're still working on this and adding more stuff.
Well, at least they got something after they were completely...
Yeah, after you leave them, what was that, 19 or 20 that they just stopped caring about entertainers?
Yeah. Oh, we're going to take away the only thing you're really good for.
I know, and we're not going to give you anything back, except maybe shorter hot pants or something. No, because that would be a schematic,
Offensive.
and you can't
yeah.
give content to non-combat classes.
Profession Jedi. Change the way the Padawan robe functions are displayed. Oh my god, I can't read. It is now displayed as a buff effect.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? The 10% force region on force robes don't actually work right now either, so.
Sweet. Not sweet, but...
Not only do you stick out like a sore thumb when you're supposed to be hiding from the Empire, but you're doing it for no reason. And if you unequip it or equip it, you'll viz yourself in front of people. So you should go see a tailor, get some nice stuff made for you.
Tattletale shadows from hidden characters have been removed.
Or have they?
That's a good question. Have they?
Maybe it's just my graphics card, but when I was screwing around with it, I mean, yeah, and the particle effects still show off too. Why expect them to fix two things at once?
Right. Come on,
Not
you're asking
matters.
too
I mean,
much.
At least they can't target you anymore, but they know if you're snooping around the base, you know?
Right.
Well, the turrets will know anyway. They'll see the shadow and shoot you.
Transitions between characters being
that so the
visible and
turrets shoot
invisible
you.
will be smoother.
Yeah, I had somebody poof right next to me
Nice.
in a group.
There was a problem
Normally you gotta be
before.
20 meters. Well, normally when they changed that and the concealment for riflemen, they made it so groups won't set you off. But also, before you needed to be 20 meters away from anything in order to conceal yourself or force cloak. And now, apparently, if you group with the people, you can do it just like that. So, there you go.
Okay.
Just do it before that bounty hunter gets there.
Ranger. We've talked about this before because I cannot announce that. I can't pronounce what this is, but it's a dart will no longer cause creatures AI to turn off.
I don't know.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about it 6 or 7 times. I know. A lot of people.
Because didn't we call it the retard dart or something? Like it'd be cool, like if they actually had something like that where they ran around circles drooling.
Have it around strippers. What?
Oh man. Anyways, we talked about that. They fixed it again.
Yes, we have. We had a chat.
Smuggler.
I don't know. I can't honestly. I actually did a search, an in-game search for Ranger, and came up with nothing. So.
There's the new squad
leader.
I'm
not trying. Yeah, squad leader. Squad leader. There's a little bit more hope now. More hope for squad leader than bioengineer.
Profession smuggler. Auto-stacking looted items, such as smuggler slicing components, can now be split and restacked with a split
Lying.
Old smuggler slicing components, which previously did not stack, will become stackable.
Will continue to no longer stack. I've talked to people. They've told me.
You know people.
I know peoples.
Quests. Some quests may now be abandoned using the quest journal. In the
like
future,
the broken ones.
In the future, additional quests may be abandoned using this feature. Secrets of the Siren quest giver should now give the Chapter 3 quest.
I actually didn't have that bug.
And Secrets of the Siren quest, Chapter 4, should be able to be completed.
I never completed that quest.
We said we're going to. For episode 2.
You know, I'm a product of my environment, and if that's what lies to us, how could I not let the people that listen to the show?
Well, you know what we have to tell everybody? Well, you know what? We haven't got to it, but we're going to do that this week, and next week we will report on it.
Someone that does.
No, we're going to do it, and next week we're going to report on it. And next week, expect for us to say the same thing again.
I know. Don't get your hopes up. It's like the smuggler revamp.
Space. Female pilots.
The final frontier.
Female pilots, which should have received their ace medals, will be granted a medal for each master badge. Okay. Non-authority female pilots will now properly be awarded their ace pilot medals.
Yay! And that will look. I saw that really awkward too. I'll find a screenshot so I don't waste your time describing it.
Okay.
And we will put that on the.
Yeah, we really got to work on finishing up this show. We got a lot to go. All right. A couple of other space things. Let's go user interface. You can now
UI.
You can now detach, attach, rename, delete, reset chat windows.
And sometimes it will work.
The chat window settings are saved properly. I want to know why my chat box moved around on me when I first logged in.
I want to know why I have to constantly reset my graphics options every time I log in after publish 30 or 23.
30.
Up until 30, I'm soothsaying. I've actually disembodied a chicken, and it says, "Beware the eyes of November."
Fly text should always be visible inside buildings now. You should no longer get a listen or watch option on an entertainer's radio menu if you are already listening to or watching them. The glare
that hasn't happened.
The glare that results from looking directly at the sun has been substantially reduced, and there is now an option to turn.
You know what?
Why spend your time on that?
Wait a minute. I bet you that ties into why my graphics options. I always have to go in there and turn off my freaking display terrain on radar. Yes, no, I don't care. If I want to see the terrain, I'll look at the freaking terrain that I'm walking. I don't need to see it on my radar. What's it going to tell me? It's a little grayer over there?
Why are they taking the time to... That is a stupid thing.
I don't know, but I'm sure that's why this bug is...
It's just like the player light thing that they wanted to make that automatically turned on when it got dark.
That automatically crashed you if you had an NVIDIA graphics card until they hotfixed that.
The command browser should no longer contain a code string. Added a debuff which is applied when you have been dazed to prevent the instant reapplication of daze. Hasn't that been in effect?
Yeah, that was like the anger. You know
the rage?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah. So they've added that. They've added that, which has been in the game, but they needed extra stuff this week, I guess.
They extra added it.
Now you're going to get 2 of them. Or it's going to break altogether. And items attributes change. Maybe that's why stuff breaks. Maybe they try to patch stuff that's already been patched. So you patch it twice and you're going to break it.
Well, if everything worked, then they would get laid off.
And we wouldn't have a show.
That's right.
An item's attributes changing in the examine window will no longer cause large amounts of client lag. Corrected the status bar for the cargo hold, which was previously being cut off and the percentage full was not visible.
I haven't been to space in a while. I gave up on my Black Sun helmet for now.
Vehicles. Restore a disabled vehicle will now require a vehicle restoration kit, formerly the BARC Speeder repair tool.
So basically that thing where you could just park your AV21 or your BARC by the garage, you can actually, you're going to have to use the Master Artesian item, which will cost a decent amount because it requires a large amount of space mined material to make, but you can repair all your vehicles. And also, since you can repair them now, I would think the price of an AV21 has gone down.
You would think.
Substantially. I would think. I mean, how many new players do you think they got coming in? Much less how many new players do you think they got coming in that could afford it? I mean, an AV21 is cheap now. That's how I made my first 10 million. I was so broke.
The BARC Speeder repair tool is now a general-purpose vehicle restoration kit, which can now be used to restore any disbanded vehicle, or disabled vehicle.
Disband.
Yeah,
oh,
disbanded.
Camps weren't disbanding. They've been acting screwy with this patch, too. If you place a camp kit, maybe 30 seconds sitting in the camp kit, this camp has been abandoned. You know, that display that you get before it poofs?
Yeah.
But then when you walk into it, it starts acting. I mean, like, you walk out and you walk back in, it'll give you that system message you've entered, Gyron's camp, dancers cannot buff you in here, blah, 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 and it'll stay there. It seems like it's been fixed with this hotfix, but
we're not sure.
It's still acting screwy. It's still acting random. I've still been able to place one camp for eternity. Well, not quite eternity. Plus, it kind of glitches the graphics. If you look down, you see water.
Nice.
Because you know how they morph the terrain around it.
Your captain talks a lot this episode. What's going on with you?
Captain?
Captain.
You call me Captain?
I'm calling you Captain Talks a lot.
Captain Talks? Captain Talks a lot. It's a good ship.
You brought up a good point for these folks about 5 minutes ago. Let's move on.
Can't you see I have to talk more about it so these people are fully informed? We can't send people out there half-cocked.
Vehicles can no longer be restored at parking garages without a vehicle restoration kit. You've mentioned that. Thank you.
I bet you of all the things that work, that's the one thing.
That won't.
No, that will. No. We don't want you to get no free repairs.
The Flash Speeder may be restored for 20,000 credits.
20K. That's what the kids call it.
Okay.
Which is remarkably the same price it would call whenever you needed to conjure it before.
Vehicle restoration kit is now a stackable item. Doubt it.
I know. If I hated myself enough to space mine enough to do a factory run, then maybe we can find out.
Okay, so we got through Publish 23.
Barely.
And, of course, with Publish 23 came the need for a couple of hot fixes.
A couple? By a couple, you mean more than one.
Yeah. Well, I meant 2 official hot fixes with multiple items in each hot fix. The first one came on September 1st. It fixed an issue that prevented the completion of space assassinate missions that required destroying multiple escorts.
Yeah, in your quest journal, it would just count the first escort that blew up and not the rest. So basically, you could never finish the mission. Even if you blew everything out of the sky, it would only say, you've killed one, you've got 5 more to go.
Now, this is something that they talked about in Test Center. This was a bug in Test Center, correct?
This was a / bug reported in Test Center multiple times.
That came to us live anyways. But I guess they figured, one day.
Who plays the space game? Let's make Mustafar. Let's work on an expansion.
Remove the incorrect description of anti-decay kits, which indicate the kit would biolink upon use. You know what?
Or they freaking had to cover their ass.
That's what I was going to say. People had to. People are getting pissed off. This stealth nerf.
I know. Freaking ADK sell for between 9 and 13 million on my server. I don't know about yours, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if they're going to be biolinked, well, you should have told us before.
But at least they went back and they removed what they tried to stealth nerf.
Maybe that's their new move, like the experience nerf or the biolink nerf. They just freaking cower away in wherever they cower and roll it back.
Fix the crash to desktop when using the player light on systems with no hardware shader support. Fix the examine window to not continuously reload badge and biography information when examining. player.
It's like being in some techno rave club.
Was it
flickering
crazy?
On and off. Well, it would refresh it every 2 seconds.
Really?
So you could never read it either. You couldn't scroll down at all because it would refresh it. Yeah, it sucked. I'm one of those people that still read people's bios, and I
Why?
check you to see. I check you to see your badges, and I check to see if you have a stupid bio or a cool bio.
You know what?
Because I can't just judge you by your stupid name.
I wish they would make it where you could like click on, there'd be like a little X that you could click on if you wanted to read all their badges. Like I said, badges, and you click on it, then you could read all their badges, or you could just like leave that unchecked. So
Remember back when they said that they were going to update the displays? I thought what they were going to add is a checkbox that you could check all the badges you wanted displayed in your profile. This must have been published 11 maybe. They said they were going to add, you know how there's that field that says birthplace?
yeah,
That would be like, for me it would be someplace
Trendosia.
on Corellia. No, it would be where you're, back in the day, you could pick your starting city.
Oh yeah, we started in Tyrena, didn't we?
We started in Tyrena because I thought Han Solo was cool and he was from Corellia, so yeah, why not? Why wouldn't a Trandoshan start off there? The point is, that's where that was supposed to go. That never happened. It was discussed at the first Fan Fest, and they were talking about adding stuff, and I thought you'd be able to go through, all your stupid ass POI badges and click them off.
That would be nice. But there's a lot of things they talk about at FanFest that.
Yeah, well, this was
Tig's
the very
playing
first
WoW.
one. I know. I play on Storm Rage. I'm cool. I'm a gnome. I'm a gnome engineer. I turn people into chickens.
Oh man, you know what? If she does play WoW, I cannot blame her for playing WoW.
Yeah, I don't blame her for playing WoW. What I do blame her for is not ripping off frickin'
all the good stuff about WoW.
Yeah, if your job is community relations, why don't you take a page from their book?
Yeah, why don't you see how they handle situations?
Blizzard knows what they're talking about. They've been in the business for a while. They may not have made all the right choices all the times, but they certainly don't flip you off and then kick you in the nuts like some other people do.
Oh man. Okay, we had another hot fix on September 2nd. Structures, they fixed an issue where sometimes structures would not get loaded after a server restart.
That's happened before though. Remember when we lived down by that one POI in Corellia off of Bella Vista?
Yeah, I still have a guild hall there.
Yeah, remember how sometimes after server reset there would be no buildings for about 20 minutes and how that made us paranoid?
I usually worked at that point. I was working during the day and you were playing. That's when you were working third shift.
Yeah, you're right.
Back in the day.
Well, back in the day when one worked third shift. The point is...
so it was a problem before. It suddenly creeped up again.
It was a problem before and it's resurfaced. I totally forgot about that you mentioned it.
The house pack up fixed the bug where players could pack up houses with vendors inside of them.
Yeah.
Players may now notice that some house terminal options, pack up, privacy, create vendor, are not available until all items in the house have been fully loaded. My theory on this is that if the items weren't fully loaded and you packed up the house, you lost the items. And I want to know if anybody had that problem.
Yeah, so let us know so we can complain about it too.
UI.
You can say, I know this guy.
The UI chat, detached chat windows no longer cause some windows to fail to open. Chat tabs will update when torn off.
Go back to the one you just said about the
chat windows no longer cause some windows to fail to open.
That was only a problem on Test Center. That was never a problem live. So I don't know whether it will be now. I never.
Now it will be a problem.
You know what I got group chat. I got instant message, and ever since we've had those problems, I don't even have any custom channels that I drag all over the place. Especially since when I kill something, it says you have gained Jedi experience. I don't even care anymore. I don't even have damage displays over me or the other things. I pretend I'm playing a real-time game.
The find friend command is going to work in space now. Thank God. I don't know how many times I was looking for you.
Well, yeah, I know. I was going to say that. You're not being sarcastic. He's being totally serious. I've been pissed off too. Just follow me. Okay. Oh, my engine top speed is like 102.
All right, let's move on to the Friday features. We made a mistake last week. They didn't post this, and as of Monday, it still wasn't posted because I had gotten an email saying, "Oh no, there was a Friday feature. Check it out here." And I looked, and they still hadn't posted it in the Friday feature section. But there There was a post in the forums.
I even went through Dev Tracker to search for it before I went on the air and said it.
And
So
I can see why they didn't put it on here. The Rage of the Wookiees screenshot contest. Let out your inner Wookiee.
yeah, you don't want to see my inner Wookiee.
You know what? No offense to Game Man 2K, because we like him now. But I have a feeling that, like, Tiggs was on, and it was getting close to the end of the day on Friday, and I'm talking about, like, midnight Friday, and, like, somebody knows, like, oh shit, we didn't do a Friday feature, so they came up with this.
Yeah, let's do a quick contest. We'll give away cool things like a game card.
No, we're not going to give you a game card. We're going to give you the total
card.
Experience.
Yeah, so you can start subscribing again, so you can start grinding Jedi up again.
So anyways, the contest starts September 1st. It's going to go through the 15th.
What are we going to do?
I'm not doing anything. I'm ignoring it.
Come on, you got to help me out. I need that game card. I need that other copy of the TTE. I'm broke. I can sell that bark. You can have the bark if you help me with the screenshot.
Ooh. The prizes include 90-day game cards, Episode 3 games, and the total experience.
What Episode 3 games are there?
The only thing I can think of is the one for like Xbox, PS2.
Xbox came out before the movie and it gave away spoilers.
Yeah. Well, haven't they done that with every movie? I remember when Episode 1 came out and they released the CD and it's like they have a song on there, The Death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, that movie made me stop liking Star Wars. I actually got rid of a lot of my collectible stuff that I had.
Really?
Yeah. I got rid of my John Williams records from like the original trilogy.
Oh,
Empire
you
Strikes
bastard, you
Back.
could have given that shit to me.
I got rid of my ATST that I had since it came out.
Well, you can't hate that stuff. Hate the new stuff, you can't hate the other stuff.
It made me stop liking Star Wars. You know what made me start liking Star Wars? Again? Star Wars Galaxies. Love brought me together. Yeah, when Star Wars Galaxies come out, should I get Planet Zone or Star Wars Galaxies? Wow, Trandoshans are pretty cool. Alright, I'll get that. I call you up. Come on, let's get it. It'll be cool. Log in the first day. Can't connect to the server to create our character. Log in the second day, and it's been magic ever since. Walking places.
This week's Friday feature are some quest highlights where they talk about, oh, let's take Nagam's job. Guess what? You can't finish it.
Yeah, here's a quest update. Frickin'. Oh! It's after you get to the third part of the quest, it sends you in an endless loop. In fact, they've messed up another quest from Kashyyyk.
Really?
To get your Vaxi or your Crimson Tie or your Hardcore X-Wing, you have to run missions from the Kashyyyk space station. And it sends you in an endless loop now. Back and forth. Good thing I got my Vaxi back in the day. Well, sweet looking fighter. I'm
not going over all this stuff because anybody can look at it, but basically this is another one of their Shovelware Friday features.
They mentioned the one where you get the droid head schematic, where it's some people do get the schematic and some people don't. If you send a CSR report to CSR Timothy, he'll tell you there's nothing you can do about it. Why not put that in a Friday feature? And then talk about the Trials of Obi-Wan.
There's a lot of stuff they could put in the Friday feature.
Like, dear crafters, don't even bother picking up Trials of Obi-Wan unless you use that token respect to get rid of your Master Armorsmith, Master Weaponsmith, Master Shipwright, Master Artesian, and frickin' switch him to, combat level 80 Jedi. Because it's pointless for you.
That's the only thing you can do.
I know. We know. We keep telling you about schematics and whatnot. How about this? Here's an idea. Do what Warcraft did, because you're really stupid if you don't, because you're not gonna give crafters content, and you're making it into a combat related game. So why don't you rip off Warcraft, make combat skill points and crafting skill points 2 separate sets? Maybe be able to do I don't know.
That's what I brought up before, because I thought I saw it was going that way.
And crafting was so much different before the CU. It was a lot more intricate. It was actually fun for me to be a crafter more than a combat class sometimes, because I felt like you were doing something like searching the world for like this perfect thing that you're going to put to make this perfect weapon.
Like you're running all over surveying. That was a pain.
No, well, yeah, it sucked. But once you found what you were looking for, you're like, holy crap, look at the conductivity and overall quality on this copper. Yeah!
Except when you throw down 8 large harvesters on there, or 8 heavy harvesters, and then you go back the next day because you think you're going to get a ton of stuff, and you found out the resources shifted like an hour afterwards.
Turn them on.
Oh, man.
The point is, and nowadays when
there is no point. We've totally lost.
Nowadays, since the CU, everything's capped. There's a hard cap for armor. There's a hard cap for weapons. And what's the point? If I'm a 12-pointer, it just means I can use more mediocre resources and still get the same effect. It's not killed it. They kicked their own ass, but they did.
Man. But the Friday features again are a waste. So we found our own Friday feature to give you guys something for you politicians or city planners out there. This comes from Ezekiel, and what this is, it's a website called swgplanner.tiger.org, and basically you can go to this website and plot out a city, make it look however you want, place stuff, and that way you're not, if you're big into setting up things a certain way, certain houses in certain areas, this will let you pretty much look at everything and see how it will look before you.
You can print it out and give it to your guildies so they're not asshats and put stuff in the wrong places or facing the wrong way. They don't know which way to turn it.
It's great. You can save it. You can come back and change it.
The icons that they use for the placement are the exact icons from the game that show you that overhead view, so you really do know where the doors are and what's facing the right way. The only hard part for this is going to be to find enough flat land to plan it out. I have my own town that I've planned. I spent like 20 minutes playing around with this, wishing I knew enough people to frickin' come down and move to Gyrontown. Guyronville, Petersville.
But it's a good little website. It's fun. It's more useful than the Friday features that we've received the past 2 weeks. So go ahead.
Star Wars Galaxy's Craft. Mention that. If you don't know about Star Wars Galaxy's Craft, then you should go there. swgcraft.com.
That's also a really good website for all you crafters.
Yeah, because who needs planetary resource droids when you can just click on there and see what's spawning and where it's spawning and with the quality of your resources. It'll save you a lot of time, and if you're a crafter, you'll probably know about it. If you're new, you do now.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up this show because we're running almost at what?
Our shows are better when we're angry.
Yeah, but I'm starting to get really tired, and I've felt myself slowly drift off throughout the show. So
you better stay out because you got to get this posted.
That'll be tomorrow.
I got some pizza that needs eating.
All right. Well, check out our website. We have the new website up. So if you go to thegalaxyreport.com, it'll take you right to our website. We're still going to go through some tweaks. I don't know I should have the message boards up. You can check all that out. I want to give a big thanks to Fob. He supplied us with the web hosting for the website. And if you're interested in hosting a website, you can check out his, service at www.mx-s.co.uk. And I have to say, I started off, I was going to go through GoDaddy, and I'm kind of new at creating a website, so I was having some issues. Plus I was reading that, there were some issues with their services with what I wanted to do. I pretty much, he hooked me up. I got on there, and within an hour of playing around with it, I had the website up and running. And this is coming from someone who's really a noob at it. So, I want to thank him again, plug his website, and we'll put the link up to that.
What was that website again?
It's www.mx-s.co.uk. So go ahead and check it out if you're looking for web hosting. We're going to have the forums up. We're going to have the wiki up. We're still taking donations. I'm working on getting that new microphone. So we have the plan. You can subscribe, $2 a month. You can also donate any amount you see fit. The crisp ads seem to be going really good. People are checking those out. Check them out on the sides. I'm going to place them on the new website too. And Amazon, we still haven't had any orders shipped, but thanks to the 98 people who have clicked on the ads, if you're looking for episode 3, go ahead and download it from, go ahead, hop on there and buy it, through our website. Give us a little kickback. And if you have any questions, concerns, about the show, go ahead and email us at thegalaxyreport@yahoo.com. Thanks everyone for listening, and head over to podcastalley.com and go ahead and vote for us there too. Almost forgot about that one. I forgot about it last week. I tried to get everybody to go to it through just like posting, and we got 3 votes. So head over there and try to get us into the top 50 this month.
That's right. Look out, Leo Porter.
So thanks everyone for listening, and see you next week.